Welcome to R&R Showtime with Robert
and Ryan.
And today we will be discussing Hawkeye, a mid-season review, since we just had episode 3 come out.
It's a 6-episode season to my understanding.
Yeah, except for the secret one that you don't know about yet. But we're going to give our opinions on the show as a whole and what we liked about each episode or didn't like, and the whole podcast thing that people do. And we'll talk about those.
Indeedly, dadly, we shall. First impressions?
Up to this mid-season review, this I don't know how it's going to end, but this is probably my favorite Marvel show that's come out.
Right? I mean, I feel like I've hyped up WandaVision all year long, as the jewel that it has been hard for me to top. But God, I'm just so fascinated with this show. It's so much fun. It's funny. It feels like I'm in the movies again. The other ones you feel like aspects of the Marvel movies, but this one really kind of feels like a movie, It's just so engaging. It's so good. And I love the Christmas of it all.
Yeah, exactly. This is the Marvel Christmas TV show. So
that we'll come back to every year at Christmas time.
But yeah, let's just get into talking about, different things that we like or whatever.
We're going to avoid doing full episode breakdowns because if you watch the episode, you know that plot.
Yeah. So one thing I got to just jump out and say is, I'm just loving Clint Barton. This guy, he's got this great anti-hero charm. We know he is a hero, but he's literally just not even trying to do this. He's just, it's I gotta take care of this thing. I just want to go back to my kids. It's just for a character who I think across the Marvel movies really wasn't getting, any special treatment, any, nice features. He always seemed kind of like a background character. Even one thing I've noticed that people were pointing out is in the Rogers musical sort of where it shows all the characters.
To talk about that fucking musical.
Yeah, the Rogers musical silhouettes. Hawkeye's literally off to the left, he is separate and in the back of all of their other silhouettes.
Yeah,
and it's kind of making this sort of point where that Hawkeye has not been a big feature throughout the Marvel movies, though obviously he's been there and had some pretty iconic things going on for him. And this show is just kind of showing that he himself is I'm not trying to be noticed. I don't want everybody looking at me. I don't care about that. I'm not about being the face of these things. And but still being a hero, still being compelled to help and do the right thing.
So I have this may be a little bit of a tangent, but back in the high school, back when I was in high school or when I was younger, at least maybe freshly graduated, when Avengers was the movie just came out the week or month that I graduated from high school. And back in that time, the earlier Facebook days, I feel it was common for people to do the tag yourself as or name yourself as one of the characters in this universe, what Dragon Ball character, yada yada yada. And I remember distinctly in one of my friend group at the time being labeled Hawkeye, and I at first was aw, but then I was you know what, I'm gonna like this guy just because of that. I'm gonna identify with him, and it's kind of been hard to do that because it has been such a background character. But I don't know if it's because of that or Jeremy Renner's just kind of generically likable. I say generically, he's a likable guy. He's not as upfront charismatic as a Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans, but it's hard to dislike Jeremy Renner. Does anybody have an issue with him?
Actually, I hate that guy. So
oh wow, damn. And this is still your favorite Marvel show. That just shows how good it is.
Yeah, it's so good that I hate this guy and I love it. Which JK, I don't really hate him.
Yeah. But so I've always had a little partial for Hawkeye. But he's a sidelined character. he hasn't had anything really to do, and that's kind of on purpose. And we get that from the Ultron movie, where you see he has a family. That's why he keeps everything low key, because he cares about his family. And we're getting to see how him caring about his family has probably hurt him, like, emotionally, being away from them so often and being in dangerous situations so often, but he does those things for them.
Yeah. Oh man, I have to say, in his, the emotion that he's evoking and the things that we're seeing from him, especially like with his family, right in the very first episode when he's, you know, spending dinner with them, and then kind of finds out like, oh man, I gotta go track these things on, and you just see how much he loves his kids and wants to be with them. And you just have this background of that in Endgame, he literally thought he lost his entire family. Like his whole family was gone, and he basically was like, I'm done with life, right? Like I'm just gonna go murder bad guys now, like in vengeance. And how he got them back. I mean, he had to lose his best friend for it, but he got his family back. And I like feel it, man. I like feel it. I was literally getting a little emotional just seeing how him with his kids and stuff, being like, oh man, he got his kids back and he just loves them so much.
The scene where he's talking to his son on the phone, but he can't hear his son, and Kate's having to like translate it like through like a pen and paper for him to be able to talk to his son, is like such a like it's such an emotionally nuanced scene. And the my favorite thing that he says is I'm happy to hear your voice, or something to that effect, when he knows he didn't hear him. But that's the sentiment. Like he's probably in this moment very sad just to not be there with his family.
Yeah.
Like he planned, like it really set it up. Like in that first episode, him saying, well, these are all the things we're going to do together as a family this Christmas. And it's like kind of knocking off one by one things he's missing out on. But the fact that he's willing to do that for this like girl is also like just a testament to like how, I mean, I say he's doing it for the girl, but he's partially doing it to close the Ronin arc of his life. He needs to get that done.
Yeah, but he could have, if he wasn't the hero that he is, he could have kind of already shut this out and been like, all right, kick rocks, kid, like figure it out. Like he didn't have to give her an emergency phone, and he could have just been like, I need to get back to my family. This is someone else's problem. I don't even care. He could also just not even deal with it, right? Like honestly, like he could just be like, whatever. Like,
maybe there's something in the suit that links it to him.
I guess maybe, but
there has to be a reason why he's so focused on getting the suit.
But they already have the suit now, right? Or didn't they get it back? He got it back from her building when they went back through the fire or something.
I thought that was the issue, that they couldn't find it. I'm confused as to where it is now.
I think they got it. I think they have it now. Pretty sure.
Oh, he did. He got it from
he went back,
the LARP.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yep. So he's got the suit back. I think it is that he's just trying to. Once he got the suit back, it was that, Kate, you're still connected to the suit. They think that you are the one.
Now he's trying to help Kate. Yeah, my bad.
Which is why he let them catch him, so that he could be like, it's not her, it's somebody else. And
Ronan is dead.
Yeah, Ronan is dead.
In a way, not a lie.
Yeah, which I think that he's sort of telling the truth, that Black Widow came and basically rescued him from being the Ronin.
Yeah,
by killed the Ronin. So yeah,
but yeah, so needless to say, Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner in this show, loving him. He's great. Now, the other lead of the show, the Kate Bishop, new to the universe, but Haley Steinfeld, I kind of love her.
Yeah, she's a great foil to him, where she's kind of excited and bubbly and oh man, like literally her dropping here's my design for a Hawkeye costume, and yeah, of course it's literally the Hawkeye costume from the comics.
Yeah,
just I love that they're dropping these little Easter eggs for us everywhere. But yeah, her personality it's so interesting, because it's not, she seems really upbeat and sort of positive or confident with Clint, but we see her not always being that way, like around her mother and around her I don't know if they're not married yet, or their fiance, I guess. She's more reserved, or more stoic almost. She's or resistant and a little like prickly even.
correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't I was going to say that this would be the first Gen Z superhero in the Avengers, but that's Spider-Man.
I guess so.
Yeah. But she's about the same age as Spider-Man, and in a way she kind of has that similar like excited vibe that we got from early Peter Parker, like meeting the Avengers. And she's not just like meeting the Avengers, she's meeting her favorite Avenger, the Avenger that she saw save her life.
Yep.
Which, I mean, if you wanted to make it make sense for a little girl to idolize Hawkeye, that's how you do it. Have her be saved by him.
Yeah. And just witness like and literally witness that hero being one of the people. And like we all saw the heroes doing different stuff, but how many people saw the Avengers doing things in when they were defending New York? I'm sure they saw like flashes of this person there, and some people obviously met Captain America and everybody, they would see things, right? But like to Hawkeye's point, it's not like he was like, oh yeah, like run literally leaping around the town smashing things or flying around blasting stuff. Like he was setting up on a single building shooting stuff with an arrow for a while. So it's even the point, like when they depict the Battle of New York, they're not featuring them much, right? Because to most people, he was there, but not like really. He didn't seem like he was there.
The Black Widow movie makes it clear that people know who these people are, and even the show makes it clear that like the people recognize Clint when he's out with his family.
Yeah.
So they've become well known, especially with like saving the world an extra 2 times, but like. After the first Avengers movies, the Saving New York the first time, it could be very easy for people to really focus on the Iron Man, the Captain America, the Thor, the Hulk, and ignore the 2 humans that were helping, but didn't seem as critical from an outside perspective.
Yeah. I mean, strictly just based on like what the people in that city would have witnessed too. But Kate literally does see him rescue him. Oh, one thing actually, again, just to hop off that, we get at that point, but want to say, totally think that her mom killed her dad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I thought that was clever when I came up with that, but then I listened to a review and someone theorized that the mom killed the dad, and obviously the mom killed the uncle, unless it's so obvious that they're tricking us with something else.
Yeah.
But that's why she wasn't. We watched the first 2 episodes together and we asked, why did it take the mom so long to get to the daughter?
Yeah.
And it's because she was using the opportunity to. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember we were just complaining about it as far as like how they were filming the show or something. Like,
that
we were like,
that
just doesn't make, this doesn't make sense. Why did it take her so long? Why didn't she come back to her daughter quick enough? And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's actually plot reason she didn't come soon enough because she was busy murdering her father or confronting him. We're probably going to get the flashback scene of her being like, you're running us into the dirt and this is better for our family if I just kill you now. Huh.
Look, you don't hire Vera Farmiga to not like be a character in the show that does stuff.
Yeah. Plus she's like connected with a dude that's already starting to do like not evil stuff, but we're getting some evilish vibes.
Very sus.
Yeah. But I think maybe they could be trying to outthink us a little bit, and they're trying to throw it out really thick to make us believe that that's what's going on when it's possible that it's not. So
yeah,
I'm very open. I'm not prepared to be tricked here.
I think, I think it's fairly open. Yeah, I don't think like it sets it up as some like a mystery, but like it's a mystery in the sense that the other shows have been mysteries when we've been able to easily call things. I think the only thing that caught me off surprise that I can remember was Agatha all along at this point.
That did not catch me by surprise. I definitely was like, I also had some not spoiler, but like I already had heard the theories about Agatha.
Yeah, because of her name.
Yeah,
people. I had avoided those theories, so I was like, oh, she's just Anyways,
also Loki is stupid because they didn't do the because they didn't do the dream sequence that I thought was supposed to happen. So FYI.
Oh yeah,
Still mad about that.
Okay, fair for you.
So another theory thing out here, right? Episode 3, we sort of see this introduction for Echo, and we see at one point her uncle, right? Reaches down.
You heard the theory as well? I
did not hear.
I just learned it.
I did not hear any theory. What is the theory that you heard? Because okay, I'm just gonna say mine then.
Go.
I think that's Wilson Fisk.
It is. Yeah, that's the theory, because her uncle or the person that raises Echo, canon wise, is Kingpin Wilson Fisk. And
Okay.
so,
all right, well,
and the review that I had listened to, they one of the people said that it sounded like it could be Vincent D'Onofrio.
That's what I thought too. So like when I listened to it, I was like, and also I thought his hand looked kind of fat.
Yeah,
is what I thought, and I was like, oh man, this could be Kingpin, right? Because and I think they're circling around that a little bit. They're talking about criminal organizations being upset and yada yada, and he is. I mean, he's Kingpin. Yeah, he's the lead of the criminal organizations.
It's one of those things where it's like all of the organizations. So she can be the head of the tracksuit mafia, and he's still the head of that.
Yeah,
and yeah.
Plus, man, I really want them to bring him back. I want them to bring back Kingpin. I think he was such a good job as Kingpin. Also, we need the Daredevil Matthew Murdock because it was so good.
I mean, I don't know how those shows will play in going forward. There's one of the shows they need to avoid entirely, and so they may make a clean slate of the other 3.
Is it Iron Fist?
Yeah, no one wants Iron Fist.
Oh my god, dude! What?
I never watched.
Can we just take a moment to talk about Iron Fist?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
I just want to take a quick moment to say how excited I was before that show came out. And to just be absolutely let down. And then it was like, oh, they're going to make a season 2. I was like, okay, cool. So you're going to fix it and make it better, right? And it was like, no, we aren't. Actually, it's just as bad. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, you guys are idiots. Like, I don't even know. That is probably like the worst Marvel property I've ever that exists.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have watched it even if it got good reviews, because I wasn't watching season 2 of Daredevil or anything. Those shows never really grabbed me for whatever reason, and apparently that's paid off because they're nothing anymore unless they get incorporated. We'll see how it goes with Wilson Fisk.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's exciting.
Just if you never watched those shows before, Daredevil is amazing.
I watched the first season.
Yeah, all of the seasons are really good. Luke Cage is pretty good. Jessica Jones is pretty good, and yeah, we already know about Iron Fist. Absolute garbage.
I've been kind of curious to watch Jessica Jones just because I heard David Tennant's good in the first season, but we'll see. Anyways, back to Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Kingpin. Yeah, so that's largely accepted. I'd say that's who is being implied to be here, and hopefully it's Vincent D'Onofrio because he did a great job before. He'll do a great job in this.
Mm-hmm.
Echo. Now that's they did a good job of introducing us to this character so that we're now empathizing with her despite her being the bad guy.
Yeah.
Well, a bad guy.
Yeah, and I think it's a great introduction to who she is. It was just so well done. Like you just get the point. Like, okay, she can't hear very well. She signs. She's an accomplished warrior. We get the point that she sees things, and because of her observation, she's good. And canonically, her powers in the Marvel universe are that she's supposed to have a Taskmaster-like photographic replicative memory, so she can see things and then immediately like replicate them.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
because she's so visual. Yeah.
But so like an Echo,
and she's
back of something.
Yeah, and she's also got her own show coming up.
Yeah. And I just cool introduction for her. She's interesting.
Our first native superhero.
Hell yeah.
Indigenous American. I say native, implying American.
Native Americans.
Yeah. Indigenous.
Yep.
Person.
Excellent.
Also deaf, but though we had a deaf superhero in the Eternals. So
is that actor actually deaf?
Both of them are. Makari and Echo are born deaf actresses.
Very cool. Righteous. I love it.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot more inclusion playing a role, I'd say, in this phase to keep audiences interested in what's going on.
Um, what do you think? How do you think the rest of the series sort of goes?
Right now, well, here's the big question. It may be rude to put it this way, but do we see Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye past this show in the MCU? Not to say that he dies, but what role is he playing? Because the assumption has always been that this is Kate Bishop taking up the role of Hawkeye, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
That was my impression of the show going into it. Does that mean that Jeremy Renner's just that Clint Barton's able to just have his family life and he's finally out of the thing and he's able to just be with his family? Or does it lead to a more unfortunate, sad ending for Clint?
Bro, there's no fucking way.
They're not going to kill him on
They're
Christmas.
not going to kill him on Christmas. He's going to go. He's going to make it home for Christmas, and it's going to be great, and we're all going to cry. And he's going to be like, "All right, Kate, you can take up the mantle. You can be Hawkeye now. Here's my hawk cave and stuff where all my trick arrows are."
But what if he didn't make it home for Christmas or any other Christmas?
That's a solid. I mean, that would be
a choice, and I think
I don't know that I would like that. I think I'd be very upset.
I think so too. I don't want to watch Linda Cardellini cry.
Yeah, no. There's no way he's not making it home for Christmas. It doesn't have this. The series doesn't have that tone.
Yeah, it's too fun for that. But yeah, so what do you think happens to Clint, though? I mean, the presumption might be that he's just trying to do what he was doing at the beginning of the episode and just live his life until and once Ronan's gone, he doesn't have to worry about it. And if Kate takes up his mantle, then he doesn't even need to be an Avenger because they already have a bow and arrow person.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think that he makes it home for Christmas. However, worst case scenario, and this might be a shot this might be unlikely, but potentially he makes it home for Christmas. And then like later that day or the next day or at night, he like goes outside and he's like looking off and he's going to get sacked by Yelena.
I forgot. Oh my God. I keep forgetting that she's going to be in this. I'm so excited to see her. Where is she? I want her.
Is she going to be in it? Because I don't know that she's going to be in it. But what we do know is at the end of Black Widow or after a post-credit scene is what's her face? The Countess or
so you know the Disney Plus, the Marvel, I think it's Marvel Legends, where it does recaps for characters. I believe it ends the recap for Hawkeye with the clip from Black Widow, so that it shows that Yelena is gonna come after Clint. So heavily implying that she should be making an appearance. And others have one thing I heard in the review that I listened to is the suggestion that maybe Valentina is working with Kingpin.
Oh yeah. So here's the thing though. It's hard for me to think that she's gonna show up in a meaningful way in the show because
there's already so much going on. We already have Echo, Kingpin, and whatever her mom is.
Yeah, I feel like it's setting up. That would almost be too many antagonists. However, I could very much see it being like the last thing we see is that he gets home for Christmas and spends the night with his family. Like he gets to have that day on Christmas, and then it's like he walks outside and then literally gets like boom, like she shows up. Like we just get like a last moment, and it's like left for us to be we're left hanging to be like, oh my God, what happened? Did she capture him, or is he dead, or what's going on?
Another thing I want to note about that, coming back to his family, is that in the third episode we get them saying, look into Clint Barton. If they look into Clint Barton, do they find out about his family? And if they find out about his family, do they use that against him?
That's a good question.
Do they come for the family?
I don't know. That's tough because our assumption has always been that S.H.I.E.L.D. or the entities always did a very good job at hiding his family. I mean, and we know that he knows. We know that the Avengers know, but like Shield didn't even Shield. He specifically said that Shield kept his family off the books, so there shouldn't be books that say that Clint Barton is his family exists or whatever. I don't know though. He literally just took his kids to New York, and multiple people watched him and saw him. So it's possible that they do know.
Question for clarification also. The watch that they were looking for did Pizza Dog eat that? Or I remember it went to Pizza Dog at some point.
I don't know.
But I don't know what happened to that watch because I think it was a big deal. And was the dude we see the face of in the first episode, is that the guy that knows ASL with Echo?
Kazi?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that him?
Yes.
Okay. Because it already confirmed that the tracksuits were the ones that blew up the auction.
Yeah.
And they were looking for the watch. So and I think that's why they're looking for him, other than Echo wanting revenge. They assume that whoever this Ronin is should have that watch also. But I think that's probably something more of a Kingpin motivation than Echo motivation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I had speculated that the watch is some kind of Stark tech, something that controls something, or it has some kind of access, or potentially even like the time GPS is what I thought it might have been. I think when Tony shows up, it doesn't really look like a watch. But another watch thing that came to my mind, though I don't think this is it, is his watch from Winter Soldier or Civil War, where he turns his watch into a single glove as well.
Oh, that's nice. That's pretty cool.
So,
which with that you could extract, if it's dark technology of any kind, then that's valuable stuff. We saw how valuable technologies can be in Homecoming.
Yeah. Ooh, or if it's Stark tech, it could be nanotech. And this could be a drop into the future of Armor Wars. Where basically, Tony's worst nightmare comes true, which is that his technology falls in the hands of others and becomes a danger.
I mean, now that he's gone, hopefully Pepper's got a control over it, but we saw even What If hinted at a higher power taking control of Stark Industries without her consent. But yeah, there's so much stuff being set up that we really thought the Endgame it felt like a good conclusion, but they're giving us so much that we just I want more.
Yeah, every show so far has been so very ambitious with like opening up the possibilities and all the threads of what could connect. Every movie that's come out and every show, like every time we maybe get like a little bit of, oh, hey, that was from here, like a little something from somewhere else. We get, 5 more directions it could be going at the end, right? Like the thing with Yelena, it's, go get Clint Barton. All right, well, how do we see that resolve? What's going to go on with that? Where does, at the end of Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier, we have U.S. agent being taken in and
by
Captain America.
Yeah,
we have so many things being opened up here, and this show itself is already setting us up to see so much. Again, potential Kingpin, Echo, something going on with her mom. Also, I think I watched New Rockstars or Screen Rant, and they were talking about how the fiance is maybe supposed to be the swordsman. So, especially with all the swords and stuff. And the swordsman is just, one of Hawkeye's basically enemies. And I think in the comics, he like is a trainer. He's someone that trains somebody else. And whatever.
I mean, I buy that this guy's swordsman just based off of the fact that like the swords, that just makes sense.
Yeah, literally. She apparently, Kate comes home and is like, wow, swords everywhere. I'm like, okay, we get it. Plus the one thing he wanted out of the auction was Ronin's sword.
Yeah, and he got it. Yeah. And we see him use it on Ronin himself. But okay, so that tease at the end of the episode, actually, what do we think's about to happen? Because first of all, I don't think that Clint's in any danger in that moment. Like, even though a sword's like pressed like right up against him, I don't feel he's in danger.
Yeah, no. I think it's gonna like I don't think anything's really gonna happen right there. I think he's gonna put down his weapon and Kate's gonna be like, "It's my friend, chill out." Like, and even if he
Well,
does,
it's still Hawkeye. He's gonna know who Hawkeye is, I presume.
yeah, but why should he attack him right now if they have no reason to?
No, I'm saying that he'll figure out that he doesn't need to be attacking him. But yeah, it's not just like, this is my friend from college.
Yeah, no. That
Yeah.
I didn't intend friend from college, but shit, like I don't think anything's gonna happen right there. I think maybe what's gonna happen is that Kate is probably gonna accuse him, be like, "You killed blah 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 blah," like come out and say it in front of Hawkeye, and he's probably gonna maybe give us some exposition and say, "No, I didn't do that, but I think I know who did, or it was actually this person. It was made to look like I did it. It wasn't me." I think we might get something like that.
Yeah, I see a confrontation happening, but yeah,
It could potentially also turn into a badass sword fight where we see that this guy is really really good with the sword and is like potentially is better than Kate or Clint are. So
I mean, it could be.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what else are we thinking? We covered Clint's cool, Kate's cool, Kingpin maybe, mom's bad, fiance's probably bad. Echo's cool. We sympathize with Echo. What else? What else have we gotten? Okay, so the Christmas of it all. I remember in the first episode, there's some scene set to Christmas music. I think it was maybe the Nutcracker theme. And I remember just watching the scene and feeling, this is so cool. This is such a good use of this song. I love everything that's happening right now. And we get like other little like musical Christmas stingers. Oh, can we talk about the car chase fight?
Oh God, that is such a well done shot. Like the way that they do the revolving camera with a continuous shot from inside the car is amazing. Like so good.
And seeing like just like the shots of like seeing Kate coming out of the car like firing arrows, like it's just it's like probably my favorite car action scene that I've seen in the MCU, and there've been quite a few of them.
Yeah, it's just amazing the way they shot that and how cool and interesting it is, and kind of almost a little funny too, where she's like, where earlier Clint had literally said like there are no trick arrows, kid, and then they're in the car, and of course he's like, well, wait, be careful, there's no more regular arrows. These are trick arrows.
And the thing that I thought was funnier was him like taking a few out, like, don't use this one, not this one, not this one. Okay, here you go. And one of the arrows she fires like combusts into fire. And she's just like, you have 3 arrows more dangerous than that one.
Yeah. Or the fact that the interesting thing to think about, right? It's cool that it's not like an unlimited thing. And it's like, okay, I have this kind of trick arrow and I have this kind of trick arrow, to the point where the last arrow they're using is a USB arrow.
Yeah.
Which, interesting USB arrow from What If.
We did see that that was useful once.
So like the fact that he just has that just in case I need to shoot some kind of technology into a robot, because of course who would have a USB arrow?
She'll be coming up with crazy stuff, I guess.
Yeah,
including the and you can read it right before he uses it, the PIM on the end of the arrow.
Yep.
And I was just like, oh, that's a PIM arrow, and he shoots it, makes the other arrow huge, and it's just cool. It's just fun.
No, it's cool. Yeah, and we know that it's you do know, if you remember from the Ant-Man and Wasp, that blue is the enlarging color.
Yeah.
So, but man, yeah, just What If, just amazing, cool scene. Seeing them work together and shoot, and the amazing Hawkeye jump off the thing, fire up and swing down.
The plunger arrow being useful.
Yeah, being I see why you have this.
And so the other thing that we haven't really talked about too much is him being deaf or
partially deaf, hard of hearing.
For most and for most of this episode, he loses his hearing aid, and he's having to interact and fight without it, and he's still a badass. He still gets everything done. I mean, and Echo proves that you don't need the hearing to be a badass.
Yeah.
And it's just, and we get to hear from both of their perspectives, where Echo hears nothing. With Clint, you get the faint echoes of being able to hear what the person's saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's a perfectly cool and reasonable thing that they represent, that humans that are near explosions are going to lose their hearing.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, you watch any kind of TV show, if people that don't actually fire guns or have never fired a gun don't realize that just firing a normal, regular gun, even outdoors, the distance of it from your head, like, is enough. Like, all those shots are going to literally hurt your ears, like, and damage your eardrums without wearing ear protection. So to be next to explosions, like, on multiple massive scales, like, literally, I mean, he had the Avengers compound collapse on him. He's a literal man, like, actual regular dude that was in the Avengers compound assault explosion thing.
Yeah.
So it's so actually logical to say that he's losing his hearing. Like, honestly, he should have actually already had his hearing blown out and be deaf by now. But I mean, he's a superhero, so whatever.
Yeah, it reminds me of the running joke from Archer, where, like, they're constantly firing guns, and they point fun at the fact that they should be going deaf about this.
He even says he makes a joke all the time. He's like, my tinnitus.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's cool to see that utilized and put into effect with, like, a character dynamic with the antagonist, will say, also being deaf. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so it's just the cool little moment when she sees the hearing aid and starts to sign, but he only has rudimentary ASL down.
He said, what did he say? He said, hello, give me a cookie, please. I think in ASL, that's what he knows.
Something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's cool. It's an interesting thing they do that makes sense, but also is going to connect our antagonist and our protagonist together.
Yeah.
This show so far is fantastic. It's just, I don't know. Everything works. Nothing is too crazy. Like, okay, we're still doing superhero stuff and they're firing arrows and all this and that. And there's a real chemistry between Clint and Kate, right?
Yeah.
It is this interesting, again, he has an anti-hero sort of vibe, and it's like a plucky young sidekick wanting to be like,
it's a Batman Robin dynamic.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you can't beat that. And
it just works.
And I've already, like, made the point to say that, like, I like Jeremy Renner and I like Haley Steinfeld, and their chemistry together is just, it's great. Like, honestly, like, when I heard her cast as Kate, I was like, okay, this is going to be good. She's going to do a good job.
Okay. Hey, so who, you say your name as an actor, but I can't think of what else she's in. Can you point it out?
The most notable thing that I could give you is that more recently was Bumblebee.
Uh-huh. That's movie. Her. Oh my God. Okay.
But her first time getting an Oscar nomination was when she was in True Grit.
True Grit.
The remake, where she was like a little girl.
Oh, I didn't get to see that.
Yeah. But she did a good job in that at a young age. So she's been like an actress since then. She's also done some music that you may have heard.
Okay.
But yeah,
Bumblebee was kind of I didn't really like it that much, but not through her fault or anything. I think the story was just whatever.
I thought that was the best Transformers movie, quite frankly. But
oh, really, Frank?
I mean, what Transformers movie was better than it?
Like the first one?
That's the only one that I could hear that argument for. But
yeah, I just don't like. I don't know that
the rest of them are bad. Every
yeah.
other Transformers movie, but Bumblebee and Transformers 1 are bad. And even Transformers 1 has some stuff that I haven't gone back and watched it in a while, but I bet some of that I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, that was really 2007, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you have to give it for 2007. Hey, if you've had this much time to figure it out, you should do better, right?
I believe that's the movie where John Turturro gets pissed on by a Transformer.
Yes, I believe that is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just fun though.
Yeah. But anyways,
but so their chemistry is great, and that is something about the show that's really elevating it above the other. Okay, so all of our other MCU shows, and I'm not really including What If on this because it's its own whole kind of different thing.
Yeah.
Falcon, Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and Loki. We have sort of these Loki and Falcon, Winter Soldier. We have this dualistic Loki working with not only what's the agent's
Sylvie
name?
or
Sylvie
Morbius.
and Morbius. So we have his relationship with those two, kind of like, and how they work together. And it's not the same kind of relationship.
Mobius.
I think.
Is it Morbius or Mobius?
Maybe it's Mobius. Morbius.
Owen Wilson.
Yeah, Owen Wilson. Yeah. I think their chemistry is pretty good, and I think his and Sylvie's are like okay. I don't feel like it's super great, really.
I thought they had good well, I do think he had better chemistry with Owen Wilson, but I thought his chemistry with Sylvie was good.
It's okay. And to me, there were moments where I was like, I'm not really sold on this right now. And maybe that's just me.
I think at the end of the day, what lost me on that show was that it felt like it was too impactful on the MCU. Like it was too much this show is doing stuff for the MCU, whereas and like WandaVision, it felt like it was having major impacts on the MCU the whole time we were watching it. And Falcon and the Winter Soldier, honestly, maybe had less of it, but we're still seeing like the person becoming Captain America and super serum stuff like going out. All of these have had pretty major stakes to some extent, and the stakes in this one are a lot lower. And I think it's kind of refreshing to have like, it's one of the things that made Daredevil work, to just have a superhero thing, but like scaled down so that it's not like too big to the point that you stop caring about it. Yeah.
I get that too. And I sort of agree to a degree, but yeah, it's kind of that like these other shows are too big and too fantastic, and they set themselves up almost for too much. Like by the end of WandaVision, you're just like your mind's like blowing a little bit with like all the stuff that's happening, and it's all, and because of that, you set up so much. There's so much buildup that sticking the landing really well is hard.
Yeah, and you end up ending with a Agatha Harkness like shooting like beams and like lasers and like magic blasts in the sky kind of ending. That's like it's neat to see, but like when it's not a movie, you could tell the budget wasn't as good as it would have been for a movie.
Yeah.
And like and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier had good action, but none of it was like exceptional.
And also, again, for a show that I was excited to see that show, I said it from like episode 1 or 2 that their chemistry was bad. Like I did not feel like, to me, I did not feel the connection that they were trying to give me. I like it just felt like bad writing. I was like, I see what you're trying to do, but I don't feel that. Like they don't feel like they're, like buddy cop supposed to be connecting like, I want to do it this way and you do it that way. But I just didn't get that. I really didn't feel that.
It felt like Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan were in. It's weird because they kind of had the exact same demeanor, but like from like a different, they felt like different shows that were about the same plot in a way. Because really both of those characters are set up to work apart from Cap. They're not set up to work apart from each other, at least as they've been done in the MCU. So they're both likable, but like, they don't always really make sense together.
Yeah. And then Loki, again, kind of the same, too fantastic. And there are just too many little holes that I latched onto where I was just like, what is this? Why is this like this? Why did you choose to do it this way? Kind of things. It's hard for me to put my finger on all of it, but what Hawkeye's doing right now, everything just flows. Everything just seems like it just kind of makes sense. Nothing is.
It all fits together.
It all fits. It all fits. The chemistry works. Everything when Kate enters a scene and is like mad or yelling at her mom or doing this and that and challenges her thing. It seems like kind of funny, but like you get it. It actually makes sense that she might challenge it. Like, oh, you have a history of swords. I'm like a competitive like champion fencer. Like, so, oh, hey, let's do a little practice, right? Because she's mad and she wants to, like, hit him or whatever and attack him. Like, it doesn't seem forced. It doesn't seem totally crazy, even though it is a weird thing to do.
Yeah. And here's the other thing with WandaVision and with Loki in particular, like when you get to have stuff start to be set up and you're like, ooh, what's the mystery here? What's the secret that we don't know? We start to make predictions. And when those predictions, like if we get the prediction right, then we're like, oh yeah, that's the thing we already predicted. If we get the prediction wrong, we're like, oh wow, with this show, if it's exactly what we've predicted, the mom did the killing and Kingpin's about to show up. If it is exactly what we think it is, I will be happy with that because
absolutely,
again, it just fits like that. It's good. It's satisfying.
Yeah. It's just a solid story structure. And if Clint Barton doesn't make it home, we're all going to be pissed. Like, he better make it home for Christmas.
He better. And again, that's a classic trope. Will he make it home for Christmas? That like every time it's brought back up, I'm like, ooh, he really needs to do this so that he can be with his family. They want him there. He wants to be there.
So maybe I might make this comment that maybe that's one of the things that's so good about Hawkeye is that it's using some very typical sort of TV and movie tropes, and it's doing it really well. Right. And we see the Marvel trying to implement that with some of these other shows and not really hitting the mark perfectly. And I think,
or trying to subvert expectations.
Yeah. They're trying, like, so in WandaVision, they're going like that's like a kind of groundbreaking one, right? It's not really like any other kind of show the way that they did it. And it was cool for that, honestly. And that's why WandaVision probably was one of the better shows. And then with Loki and Falcon Winter Soldier, these were both like attempts for them to do, kind of mimic a certain kind of television show while still being these fantastic Marvel shows as well. And I don't think if the intention was a buddy cop type Marvel thing with Captain Falcon, or I keep saying Captain Falcon, Falcon Winter Soldier, I don't think they hit that.
The buddy cop failed in that. And the buddy cop worked better in Loki, but the buddy cop was 2 episodes before he splits off with Sylvie, and then it's a whole different dynamic. And Loki was a show that I felt get like kind of progressively, not to say worse, but like it sort of trended down from its beginning.
Yeah, it got almost too convoluted. I mean, again, you're talking with like this time travel flowing across, and at the beginning we're in such mystery, like, oh, how could these things be happening when we don't know who Sylvie is? It's such an interesting thing, and then we find out, like, okay, cool, it's a female Loki variant. All right. Like,
none of the shows have had good finales, I'd say.
Yeah, like none of them stick their landing.
So if there's anything I can hope for this show, is that it sticks the landing.
And that's the thing. I don't think they're setting up too much here. Just like you said, if it happens exactly the way we expect it to, I will be very happy. I'll be like, this is the best Marvel show made.
If it's the Yelena showing up like last minute end credits thing, I'll be hyped with that. Even though this is it leaves it on a cliffhanger for a mini series. Like we're clearly going to get some cliffhanger from every MCU show, because even if the series ends, like the universe continues on.
Yeah. So far, I love Hawkeye. It's great. It's I want to literally say it's because it's too God damn,
too soon.
Too soon to say. I want to say A- right now.
I mean, I'd give it like A as of right now. Yeah.
Yeah, or even an A. I'm trying. The thing is, I would like to err on the side of less. And if I really feel like I wanted that A later, then I'm okay with changing it. I don't want to say it's an A and then
again, it's a so far. So
yeah, so far, honestly, yeah, it's
the next 3 episodes will dictate, like, will shape that letter more.
Yeah.
Like form a minus, form a plus, downgrade it to a B. We'll see.
Yeah, but yeah, I would just say this is an A show so far, halfway. And now to say Falcon Winter Soldier was already not an A halfway, even when I wanted to like it. Loki for me was not an A halfway.
No, Loki was like an A. It once again, that's one that like sort of like started to fumble after that Planet episode, which was
that halfway?
Oh, that may have been the 3rd episode.
Yeah, that's where maybe you're right. Maybe right after that episode is where I started being like, all right, the fact that it wasn't a freaking dream this is all stupid right now. I'll never get over the why did the building levitate? Never gonna get over that. Picked the whole building up with his magic powers. Ridiculous. Nonetheless, that show like about halfway started falling off for me.
And WandaVision had sort of like peaks and valleys the whole time.
Yeah,
where
that's hard to say.
I think the episode before the finale was sort of like the best episode overall, and we had like ups and downs throughout, ending on a downer finale. So all this has to do is stay good for another 3 episodes, which is to say something. It's not necessarily the easiest thing in the world to do. The other shows couldn't do it, but I have faith. I have hope.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward. I think that Hawkeye is going to stick it. I think it's going to be the best Marvel TV show to come out so far.
The other question is, will it be the most satisfying Marvel thing we get this December?
I don't know if that's going to be the case.
Yeah, probably not. But we can hope. We can dream. Hawkeye outbeating Spider-Man.
I don't know. Hey, if it's the most satisfying thing we get this December because it's so good, I'm okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, but I think that'll wrap it up for this time.
Yep, that's it for me. So until next time, folks.
This is Ryan.
And this is Robert. Goodbye.